Alright, so I'm going to be creating a Microsoft Word certificate basically, or create a certificate in Microsoft Word. And once you open Microsoft Word, the next thing to do is to insert a page border. And we're going to be inserting one that usually looks like a certificate type of page border. To get your page border, you'll click on the Design tab. And then under the page background group, you'll select page border. Then under the art section right here, you'll select one that is normally used for certificates. So I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing one here that could be used. One here that could be used. I'm looking to see if there's any other. But there are some very nice and creative borders that you could use for this certificate. Right? So there are some reasonably pretty creative borders that you could use. I'm going to use the one I had seen earlier. The one I saw earlier. So this is the one I'm referring to. You can also change the color of that border. So where you see color, you could change it to a nice color and then click on OK. Right? So this is blue and brown. And then another thing you could do as well is to increase the size of the border. You could make it thick. You could make it a very thick border. Right? So I'm going back into the border to show you where you could go to increase the thickness of the border. So where you see width and 18 pt in the box, there you can go and increase it and make it thicker. So I'm going to increase it to 31. 31 is the thickest it can go for this particular border. And then when you are through, you'll then select OK. The next thing you'll have to do is to change the orientation of this, because when you are creating a certificate, it's usually in landscape orientation. When you open Microsoft Word, it's in portrait. So in order for it to be in landscape, you have to change the orientation. And to do that, you go to the Layout tab, and under Orientation, you'll select Portrait. Is everybody with me? Are you all still with me? Kerry-Ann, Brandon? All right, so the next thing is to type what type of certificate it is. Today I'm going to be looking at a certificate of appreciation. Okay, Brandon. And I'm going to type just that. In caps, certificate of appreciation. And since it is the title of the certificate, I'm going to make it big and bold. I'm going to highlight it and change the font size. I'm going back to home, and then I'm going to change the font size. All right. I am also going to change the style of writing. That's the font. Maybe this could work, but if I am to use that, I'm going to have to change the font size, make it a bit smaller. And I'm going to center it. You could left align it, center it, right align it. It doesn't matter what you do to it. Right? Below that, you could even choose a different font. You don't have to choose a font style like this. You could choose a different one. Below that, you would say this certificate is presented to, and that you'd probably want to put in a different font style of writing. So I'm going to change that after I am finished typing the information. So what font could I change this to? Could use Book Antigua for now, and then below that you type the name of the person the certificate is for, or you could just draw a long line, and then you could always, you know, allow the person to write it in. But these days we don't usually draw the line. We just type the person's name on the certificate and then print it. But if it is a case where you are creating some certificates and stocking them so that you can pull one and write up one at any point in time, then you can draw a line, and from that you can always write in the name of the person to receive the certificate. So I'm just going to type my name as a person to receive the certificate, and I'm going to choose a prettier font, a more decorative font. EDPM, CSEC EDPM papers love to use the term decorative font. So I'm going to choose a decorative font, a nicer one. You wouldn't download it, Nancy. It's right there in Microsoft Word. I notice appreciation is spelled incorrectly. I'm going to fix that soon. It's in Microsoft Word. Wherever you see font, you can always go there and select one of those nice, pretty font. Right? I had selected Aladdin just now, but it's a little fine, so I'm going to increase the size of it to 72 is too big. I'll use the 48, but you can choose a different font. You don't have to use this. There are a lot of decorative fonts that you can use, so this you don't have to use. Right below that, now you'll put what is it you are appreciating them for. Since it is a certificate of appreciation, you would want to say what is it in recognition of, in other words. So I'm going to change it back to Book Antigua and type it in size 16 maybe, and I'm going to say in recognition for a record of outstanding accomplishment, or something to that sort. They usually put something, you know, to tell what they are being recognized for. In recognition for a record of outstanding accomplishments. All right, so that's what I am being appreciated for. So that's what the certificate of appreciation is for. Big ups and kits in the house. All right, and then below that you'll have a line. I'm going to left a line and put a line where the date can be typed, or where the signature, and not or, but and where the signature can go. And it depends on how many signatures you want on the certificate. So you'll normally put the amount of signature lines and dates that you would need for that in particular. Right, so underline, I'm going to just hold down the shift key and the dash button and draw a line for a date, and then tab about 2 or 3 times and draw another line which will be for the signature. And I'm going to press enter and type date, which we know is what the first line is for. It could be the signature that you put there first. It doesn't matter which one comes first, to be honest. And then right under the other line, I'm going to put signature. Alright, so I did say earlier that the word appreciation is spelled incorrectly. So I'm spelling it correctly now. I had an extra R in it, certificate of appreciation. Alright, so I'm going to reduce the size of it so you can see it better. Alright, so we're going to put something more onto it where you can always show that it is a certificate, maybe a ribbon. I'm going to go to the insert tab, and then under online pictures I'm going to select I think it's an award ribbon, you would call it, and then we can select a nice one to make the certificate more fancy. Alright, since I'm using blue, I'm going to stick with something blue, so I'm going to look for a nice one with blue. Alright, let me select this one and then click on insert. And what I'll do now is to just resize it. And in order for you not to distort the image, you simply drag the picture from the corner inwards and it will not distort the image when you do that. You can leave it at the top or you could put it at the side. It doesn't matter. And to move the picture anywhere you want to, you just right click on it and then left click on wrap text, and you could either put it in square or tight. So you could put it at the side. You could also put a watermark, a picture watermark in it to bring it off as well. If you don't know how to put watermark in your document, you can watch my video, or I could just show it to you now. But you can also do that and make it more creative. I'm going to tap this a little bit more, just to let it have the same amount of space on the left and the right margin. Alright, so where do I go to insert a watermark? Do you remember? Anybody on the live remembers? It's under the design tab, same place where you find the page borders. So when you click on the drop down arrow, you will see different options there, but we want a picture one. So of course we want to go to custom watermark. Once you hit the custom watermark button, you will see no watermark, picture watermark, and that's the one we want. So we're going to click on picture watermark. If you wanted a text watermark, you could select the option below that says text, and of course you'll type whatever it is you want as the watermark. Yes, Nancy, you go, girl. So once you click on picture watermark, you then click on select picture and then search for a nice design. This time you could put a trophy. What do you think? You think we could put a trophy as the watermark since it is a certificate? Tell me what you think, guys. Or maybe another ribbon. What do you think? It's not page border, Nancy, but page background. I think you meant to say page background. All right, I'm going to put another award ribbon in the background. So I'm going to put that as my watermark. Usually watermarks are pale. It's very, very pale. What what should I use? I'm going to use something with brown and blue, maybe a mixture this time, since I have brown mixed in the border itself, blue and brown. The dominant color is blue still, but we could use that. And then click on OK. And look at it. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And I'm not saying that because I did it, but it is beautiful. Look at the background. The watermark has the what should I call it? The ribbon, the award ribbon in the background. Isn't it beautiful? I think it is. Yes, Brandon. Yes. Hi, Charmaine. But this is beautiful. We could choose a trophy if we wanted to, but the ribbon is beautiful, so I don't think I want to change it. But this is basically how you go about creating a certificate, right? CXC may give you a series of questions to do and then ask you to create a certificate, you know, from the information given. Or they may just very well give you a certificate to reproduce. But at the same time, what I'm doing here will at least give you an idea as to how you go about creating a certificate. Yep. What do you think, guys? This is beautiful. Beautiful. And you can even put a color in your page background. Yes, a page color in the background, sorry. So since we're doing blue and brown, maybe blue and brown, I don't know. What do you think? This light blue is giving me a vibe. Charmaine, Nancy, Brandon, what do you think about this with the light blue? And butterfly girl. And Kerry-Ann was here earlier. This peach, you like this peach one? Oh, you like the blue? The light blue? Oh, you prefer the blue? Alright, no problem. This is pretty. It's pretty. Do you like this shade or the lighter shade? This one is pretty. Yeah, the peach brings it out more. But since the ribbon is blue, you may want to stick with a blue theme. Yes, butterfly, it's Microsoft Word that we're doing it in. So we put in a page border that looks like a certificate, or that we normally use for certificate, and then we type in the rest, insert pictures as well as watermark. But you decide when you're creating yours, when you get a chance to create one, you decide which one you want to use, whether it's a peach or the blue, whichever color. You can choose your own color, red, whatever color you desire to use. All right. So I'm going to leave it in blue. It has that nice white color in between it. It's just lovely. Yes, Nancy, I agree. It's just plain. So you can always change the page color. All right, guys, this is basically what you do to create a certificate. So like I said, CXC may very well give you one to recreate, or they may give you a series of questions, and at the end of it they may ask you to create a certificate from it. So at least you have an idea as to what it will look like, what it should have on it or in it. Yep.